The uproar caused by last week's travel ban by President Donald Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump, will remain unprecedented, at least for now. In the face of the backlash that fiasco caused, heads of tech companies were among the earliest to speak out. And in almost all cases, they matched their words with action, either promising funds or being part of the activism that challenged the executive order. Well, these are initial sentiments, but how will Silicon Valley hold up against a tough immigration policy headed their way? Welcome to Business Zone. I am Yemisi Landredo. U.S. President Donald Trump's travel ban is hitting tech companies really hard. Just as Trump signed that executive order imposing a travel ban on 7 Muslim-majority countries, stocks fell following lower global stock indexes, and energy and technology companies take sharp losses. Airlines skidded, leading to protest and disruption at airports, and banks and basic materials companies also fell, and energy companies declined with oil prices. All right, now the travel ban has also created broader uncertainty for companies and industries that rely on visa programs to hire workers, as well as some companies that do a lot of business overseas because of potential difficulties in global trade. Okay, we'll see in stocks now, we'll see IT consulting and outsourcing firm Cognizant Technology Solutions sinking 3.3% to $54.25. And also, Alphabet, Google's parent company, skidded 2.1% to close at $827. We also have chip equipment maker Lam Research off by 2.6% to $115. Now, the tech firms are fighting the ban with cash. And here are some of the companies and investors who are putting their money where their mouths are. We'll start off with Google. All right, the search giant has created a $4 million crisis fund that benefits the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, Immigrant Legal Resource Center, International Rescue Committee, and United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. And the fund will be made up of employee donations and cash from the company. We'll see Google co-founder Sergey Brin also participating in protest at San Francisco International Airport. Also, Lyft, the car-sharing startup, said it will donate $1 million to the ACLU over the next 4 years to help defend the U.S. Constitution. The ACLU, which struck an initial blow against Trump's order in court, received $24 million in online donations over the weekend. That's about 6 times what the activist group would collect in online donations in a normal year. And in a related case, we see Apple's Tim Cook saying the tech company would not exist without immigration. All right, we have Airbnb has offered to help by providing free housing to anyone affected by that ban. The company's offer applies to refugees or anyone else who is denied the ability to travel to the U.S. and is not in their city or country of residence. All right, messaging service Viber is offering free calls between the U.S. and countries targeted by that travel ban. And we have series of executive givens. A slew of tech luminaries have fled to match donations made by their followers on social media, the Twitter. Investor Chris Sacca, Nest founder Tony Fadell, and Facebook executive Andrew Bosworth are among industry leaders who have pledged to match tens of thousands of dollars worth of donations to ACLU. All of that cash, trying to fight Donald Trump's travel ban. Well, Silicon Valley heads slamming Trump there on this so-called temporary ban, fearing it could prevent them from accessing a global reservoir of talent. Well, these tech bosses are criticizing measures that could impact sector employees. Now, joining me to discuss this ban and its effects on tech companies is ICT expert Benjamin Shimola is with me in the studio. Many thanks for your time, Benjamin. Also joining me on Skype, I have another ICT expert, Idowu Akinde. Many thanks, ID. All right, let me start with you.
Hello?
Yeah, let me start with you, ID. What was your initial reaction to that ban by Donald Trump?
My initial reaction was that this might happen. There might be a direct reaction from at least one of the big technology companies that we know. Maybe my expectations were overshot because more than one of them have come together to condemn the action, the executive order by President Trump. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so I said, so that was my reaction. My initial reaction was, like a prediction that this was going to happen, and it has happened.
All right, a prediction that it was going to happen. Benjamin, let me talk to you now. Tech companies have warned that these immigration restrictions could impact its ability to fill research and development positions. Of course, we also see, we know that just last year we saw Facebook top executive there talking about Mark Zuckerberg visiting Nigeria, and of course some other tech industry people joining him on that trip. Do you think this is really what would be happening?
It's a two-way thing. The most important and single entity in every organization are the people working therein. What is happening right now, it's going to be a positive and a negative end. The negative is immediate, but the positive will be cumulative after a while. Because I'm very, very sure that a number of countries where some of these big Silicon Valley companies were not thinking of investing in, they will have a second thought, knowing now that it's possible that the 90-day ban could be extended and even more countries could also come on board. Everybody knows educationally that the United States have not been rated so good when it comes to the performance of an average American, but that they leverage on the HB1 visas to bring in expatriate people from different countries, Syria, Nigeria, wherever, just to come and help to boost the manpower. And the immediate reaction right now will mean that some of those organizations will have a shake of some sort because most of their key personnel are from foreign lands.
Most of their key personnel from foreign land. Idowu, globalization has been a boon for Silicon Valley, which employs a significant population of foreign engineers, as Benjamin said. Now, how much of a negative impact will this have on these tech companies, from your opinion?
Well, I agree with Mr. Shimola. I think that, like he said, the tech companies are going to start looking elsewhere. We saw a similar trend a few months ago when Brexit became a reality in the UK. We started to see that many companies that had headquarters or significant business offices in London or within the United Kingdom started to look outside London but within the same EU. Many of them looking towards Denmark and Germany. That was Brexit. Now something similar seems to be happening here. Well, something similar is likely to happen here because if the Trump administration stays with this ban and they don't go back on it, which is unlikely, but if they don't go back on it, then business leaders, business owners are just going to have to start to look elsewhere. So that's on the immediate. On the long term, I think that it may not bode very well for the American technology space. Despite the fact that the educational performance of the average American hasn't been very, encouraging in the past few years, or even some have argued few decades, America is still the land. Silicon Valley is still that hotbed of technology startups. So, however, if they continue with this kind of well, some of alleged to be divisive policies, what will happen is that people from other countries who are not even in that list of 7 for now may get the feeling that, oh, well, if they've done it for 7, wouldn't they extend it to me? Wouldn't they extend it to Nigeria? Wouldn't they extend it to Kenya? So people will just start looking elsewhere and looking to emigrate elsewhere. Canada, New Zealand, Switzerland, other places where there's...
Okay, we would have a global inclusion of all other countries joining in this call with Silicon Valley. Okay, Idowu, Benjamin, I have to take a break now. And when we come back, we'll be looking at Trump's position on the H-1B visa program. And of course, what Silicon Valley would actually face with this latest. Do stay with us on Business Zone. It's Business Zone on TVC News with me, Yemisi Lanre Idowu. All right, we're looking at Donald Trump, U.S. President Donald Trump's travel ban. And of course, tech companies have been the most hard hit by this policy and this executive order from Trump. I've been speaking with Benjamin Shimola and Idowu Akinde, both ICT experts. All right, before I went on that break, I was talking, we're going to be talking about Trump's position on the H-1B visa program for temporary foreign workers. Of course, the majority of which work in technology fields. And Silicon Valley's leaders are concerned about the industry, about the future of the industry. They have raised anxiety among industry leaders. And they say there aren't enough skilled Americans to fill these positions. Both of you have actually said that. Now, let me talk to you, Benjamin. ID has actually said the major impacts this would have. We could have all other countries, aside the 7 countries listed in that policy, joining in this. And of course, tech experts looking elsewhere. We wouldn't say that the Silicon Valley would actually be moved away from America, though. But let's look at this. There is a tough one ahead for Silicon Valley leaders. What do you think they should be doing now? Because, of course, we've seen they've started with this initial arrangement, protesting with cash. We see Google dropping about $4 million for this crisis solution. Of course, we've also seen Airbnb, seen Fleets and all that, even Netflix, all of them joining in one way or the other. What do you think is the next step for them? Do you think this would actually get to Trump?
From my own perspective, I don't think the impacts will be, if we weigh it from the Silicon Valley companies and America as an entity, the impact on America as a whole will be much more felt than the Silicon Valley, because they can migrate to other regions. Of course, it will take time. Rather than having to, divide the entire universe to different regions, they just go in there and then try and cite similar things, like what is happening right now, even in Nigeria, in our hub in Yaba. Now, the impact really is on the economy of America. And then the immediate impact will be that some of the timelines for some of the technologies that we're expecting may not be met, or that they have to also look to other areas in the world to get some of these things done, since the individuals from those countries may not be able to come into the United States. But for me, I think it's a very positive thing. It may not be too positive right now, but very positive for developing countries like Nigeria. If the African leaders can seize this opportunity to develop our infrastructure, this will be the real time for Silicon Valley to pump in the money into the economy. And at the end of the day, we see that the third world country, or don't let me say the third world, the developing countries now will now have these talents. Instead of having brain drain, they will have the brain gain within the economy. So for me, it's going to be a positive thing.
Yeah, a brain gain for these economies, as Benjamin has said. Do you think in that line also? And what is the next step for Silicon Valley leaders? I know they have started with what I said initially. What do you think they should be doing after this?
Okay, I like the angle from which Benjamin took it, namely that leaders of developing countries like Nigeria and most other African countries should see this as an opportunity to try and attract investments, especially technology startups, technology hub, innovation hub investments into their environments, into their spaces. What it would do is that when the traditional American technology companies start to look outwards, perhaps, depending on how we've projected ourselves, we can be attractive as an investment destination. So where in the past you've heard that India, alone is responsible for 80% of the entire global technology outsourcing, maybe with this new development, if we're able to cash in on it, Nigeria may be able to take away 20% out of that. Maybe Kenya will take away another 10%. South Africa can take away another percentage out of that. So it will be more distributed, and then going into the future, it might become more balanced. That's for your first.
Yeah, you both. Maybe Trump is actually doing the right thing for for African countries and other countries, really.
Well, right is relative. I don't think that Trump is thinking about the benefits of the African countries. Okay, of course there are certain benefits that his administration hopes to gain by the introduction of this ban, but I don't think that an agenda that benefits Africa is top of mind for them. It's just up to us to identify an opportunity and cash in on it while it's still open.
Exactly, identify an opportunity, Benjamin.
Yes, because some of us have this training partnership with foreign organization. You have to go a certain period of the year for your regular training. That may be affected right now because of the immediate effect of this ban. But I see that opportunity is disguising itself in this necessity that we're finding ourselves. Because if you stop people from actually coming into America, the immediate effect is what we are seeing, and we'll still see more in the few days ahead. But the long-term effect will be that everybody will start looking inward. Because I'm one of the people campaigning that you cannot import an American solution to an African problem. So this will be the time for Africans to actually look at technology, use it as a tool to also solve our indigenous African problems.
All right, Benjamin Shemola, Ido Akinde, both ICT experts. I must thank you so much, you both, for coming on Business Zone.
Thank you.
In other news now, the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, on Tuesday in Lagos launched 2 public-private partnerships to boost agricultural productivity and increase household earnings in Nigeria.
The growth in the agriculture sector has been found, on average, to be twice as effective in reducing poverty as growth in other sectors. The U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID, recognizes this fact and on Tuesday launched 2 public-private partnerships under Feed the Future Partnering for Innovation project to improve agricultural productivity and to augment household incomes in Nigeria. The 2 new partners are Chi Farms Limited, which will focus on poultry and fishery production, and Neji Foods Limited, which will specialize in quality cassava peeled mash for livestock feed production. USAID Mission Director Michael Harvey noted that the bane of agriculture in Nigeria is poor funding.
More than 70% of Nigeria's population works in agricultural at least part of the year. And yet this country imports much of its food from overseas. Reducing this reliance on imported commodities is the central goal of President Buhari's administration and of his vision for transforming Nigeria's economy.
The 2 beneficiaries, Chi Farms and Neji Foods Limited, expressed their appreciation for the USAID Feed the Future Partnering for Innovation partnership and gave their projections for the future.
The funding, the support and the encouragement of USAID has brought us and pushed us into a different direction. We have now clearly defined as a strategy that we want to go one level deeper and really work with smallholder farmers and really become reliable business partners of smallholder farmers.
This time around, getting the support from USAID, I think it's a good one. And this is another good news for everybody, or a good message for everybody that anything you like doing, just keep doing this. So God is watching you and some good people are actually watching you.
The high point of the event was the presentation of certificates of partnership to representatives of Chi Farms Limited and Neji Foods by the Commissioner for Agriculture, Oyo State, Prince Oyewole Oyewumi. Michael North, TVC News.
Well, Egypt's central bank says commercial lenders attracted $9 billion in inflows since the Egyptian pound was floated 3 months ago. Assistant Sub-Governor Rami Abou Naga says trust in the system is growing as there is notable improvement in foreign currency inflows to banks over the past few weeks. The central bank last year gave up all currency controls in an effort to ease a dollar shortage that crippled economic activities, paving way for Egypt to secure a $12 billion International Monetary Fund loan. The dollar traded at as much as 100% premium to the official exchange rate on the black market before that decision. Well, mixed transactions were crossed on different floors of African exchanges Wednesday. We'll begin our analysis with the market in Nairobi, Kenya, which closed positively as trade in various sectors increased. The All-Share Index of the main market grew by 0.17% on the back of increased investment in the banking sector. In Tunisia, stock prices closed weak. Many investors looked out to exit the market by offloading holdings, and foreign investors maintained tactical moves on prime securities. The Namibian bourse closed in green. Mining stocks were attractive in the early hours of business. The renewed interest in equities followed strong appeal on the fixed income side of the exchange, and the Nigerian stock market closed in the red. Analysts reported continuous decline in the value of equities across board. The economic hardship in the larger economy seemed to have impacted negatively on market trends. Well, with a wrap on the African exchanges transactions for today, many thanks for watching. I am Yemisi Landredo. I leave you with the figures of the exchange rate as it stands at the moment.